Most traders think the trade is the most important moment of their day. It's not. The most important moment is what happened before the market opened. What you do in those 30 minutes before 9:30 Eastern Time determine the quality of every decision you make during the session. It set your bias. It identify your level. It check your mental state. And it tell you before a single candle prints whether today is a day you should be trading at all. In my last video, I walked through my full trading routine. Today, I'll go deeper on the pre-market phase specifically. Four step in this order every single morning. Step 1, economic calendar. Step 2, key level. Step 3, bias determination. And step 4, mental check. That's the map. If that sounds good to you, let's get to it. Quick context, if you're new here, welcome to the channel. My name is Karl and I trade mostly in QNES. Let's walk through each phase. Step 1, and I do this before I open a single chart, before I look at price, before anything else. The tool I use is Forex Factory. It's free, it's clean, and it shows exactly what I need. So the way to access it, or what I do basically, I just go to forexfactory.com. So forexfactory one word.com. And once you get there, you'll see directly what's going on the agenda. Personally, what I do, I'll filter out and keep just what I need. So you can click that little green filter right here. And usually, what I'll do, I'll select the red folder only. So I'll remove the other one and I'll just remove everything from here and just keep USD. When it's done, I click apply my filter and I will see what's going on for this week specifically. So for this week, or the only news that was going on was actually on Wednesday. And usually what I'm looking at, it's anything after 9:30. So between 9:30 and 4 o'clock, because that's the trading period. So in that case, 8:30 didn't really apply to me because I was not trading at that time. So at 2 o'clock, this is more important. So there was the federal fund rate and FOMC at 2 o'clock. So if I was still in a trade, or if I was looking at a trade, which is rare, usually I try to trade before noon. I would be very, very careful at looking at any kind of trade during that period. Now, step 2 is where most traders leave money on the table because they're only marking half the level they should be. So this is exactly what I do. What do I mean by key level? Well, there's different key level for me that are very important in the morning. So I have previous day highs and low. I have weekly highs and low. So gap level, London session high and low, Asian session high and low. So those are very important key level for me. So let me show you on the chart how I do it. All right, so let me explain you exactly what I do and what I mean. So on my chart, I need to mark all the important level. So I have the daily high and low, the weekly high and low, and then the Asia and London session high and low. So let's say we start with the weekly. So I'll go on my weekly chart, select weekly, and then from there, I'll select last week. So the last candle is always the current week. So last week would be this one right here. So what I'll do, I'll select the line right here and I'll draw a line from both extreme from last week. So like you see right here, I have the previous week low, and then right here, I have the previous week high. And then next step, it's the daily. So I change my chart to the daily chart and I'll mark the high and low from the previous day. So from yesterday. So yesterday would be right here. So today it's this candle and this is from yesterday. So I'll mark the low from previous day, the high from previous day. Now the next step, it's the London and Asia session. So what I do for that, I have an indicator. So we can go to indicator and just type ICT kill zone. So it would be this one right here. So it's called ICT kill zone plus pivot. So just select it and it will show up on your map. Let me activate it. So this is what it would look like. Need to go down. And then you'll see those boxes. So those boxes represent the whole session from last night. So what I do, I'll mark the London low. So I'll put a line, as you can see right here, for the low. I'll put a line for the high right here. I'll do the same thing for the Asia high and low. And when this is done, I can just disable it or hide it right here. So you can click the eye and it disappear. And now all I see is the important level on my chart. Also, very often what I'll do, I'll mark the extreme high and extreme low. So in this case, we can see, let's go back to the 1 hour because usually I do that on the higher time frame. So 1 hour and 4 hour, I'll put a line to the extreme high and extreme low because usually the price is tend to be attracted to those high to the extreme high and low. So usually if we see the price tapping the top, well, we know it will probably go down to the extreme low or the opposite, depending which direction it's going to. So I won't go necessarily in detail. This is not the purpose of this video, but basically now I have a little bit more an idea where are the important level. So if I decide to open a trade one morning and I see, let's say as an example, this would be, let's say, around 9:30 in the morning, and I see the prices moving up. Well, there's a good chance I won't open up a trade or do a buy thinking that the price might go higher. I have to be careful because I'm getting very close to a very important level. So that's just an example. And also, as a quick note, to determine my bias, actually, I'll use the EMA. So what I do, I use the EMA 55. And usually for me, anyway, it worked very well just to give me an idea where's the market is right now. So when you wake up one morning, you say, okay, where's the market is situated right now? Well, by looking at the EMA 55, for me anyway, personally, I really like it. It gives me a good indication. So that would be on the 15-minute chart. Let's say I go to the 1 hour chart, you can see clearly we're going on a downtrend, uptrend, downtrend, downtrend. So the EMA 55 for me worked very well. Even if you go on the 5-minute chart, well, you can see the price is reacting on that 55-minute, 55 EMA very often. So anyway, that's another way for me to find the bias. So these are the price level I draw every morning before the open. They don't change during the session. They're my map. Step three is the one that most directly determine which trade I take and which one I walk away from. So step three, it's the bias determination. So going into today's open, am I leaning bullish, bearish, or neutral? And I want to be clear about what bias is and what it isn't. Bias is not a prediction. It's not saying that the market is going up today. It's saying based on what I can see right now, the weight of evidence lean in this direction. A probability lean, not a certainty. So here's what I look at. Is it bullish? So bullish, what I mean, first of all, I look at the price to see if it would be above yesterday close or if it would be into a previous day high. Or bearish could be, as an example, the price going below yesterday close, or could be some kind of any momentum into the previous day low, or neutral could be mixed signal. Basically, at this point, if any of you already know, I trade very often the orb in the morning. That's one of the trading strategy that I use quite often. I'll let the orb decide if it's not clear on specific morning. So usually after this is done, after looking all at this, I write down one word: bullish, bearish, or neutral. Neutral is completely valid, by the way. So, morning, the picture, it's mixed. In those cases, like I said, I'll let the orb tell me which way the market wants to go. Here's why this matters so much. My orb trade has to align with my bias. If my bias is bearish, I don't take a long breakout. If the bias is the filter, and I can't apply a filter I haven't established in writing before the open. Step 4 is the most shortest one. It's also the one I skip most often and the one that cost me most when I did it. Step 4 is the mental check. One question, 60 seconds. How am I feeling right now? Not am I ready to trade, because the answer to that is always yes. When you want to trade, just how am I feeling? Am I calm, frustrated from yesterday's loss, distracted, overconfident from a big win, tired? I sit with that question for a few seconds and I answer it honestly. I sit with that question for a few seconds and I answer it honestly. Here's the truth: your emotional state going into the session will show up in your trading whether you acknowledge it or not. The only question is whether you're aware of it. If I'm frustrated from yesterday and I have a higher risk of revenge trading, overconfident from a win, higher risk of skipping the checklist, distracted, sloppy execution, knowing this doesn't automatically fix it, but it make it conscious. And a conscious risk is one I can manage. An unconscious risk manage me. So morning after this check, I decide not to trade, not because there's no setup, but because I'm not in the right state to execute one properly. That decision, as hard it is to make, is one of the most disciplined thing a trader can do. I put a lot of work into making this content free and honest. If you find a value in it today, I really appreciate a like and a subscribe. It costs you nothing and it means everything to a channel like this. Here's why these 4 steps are in this specific order. Economic calendar first, because it might change everything. Fed announcement at 9:30. The rest of the process is irrelevant. Key level second, because there's objective. I draw them before I have a bias. So the level aren't influenced by what I want the market to do. Bias third. Now I have the context to form one intelligently. I've seen the level. I've seen the overnight's action. Now I make an informed lean. Mental check last, because it's the gate. Even if the first 3 steps look perfect, I'm not in the right state. None of this matter. 4 step in order every morning, about 25 to 30 minutes, the most valuable 30 minutes of my trading day. If you take one thing from this video, the session doesn't start at 9:30. It starts at 9. This is Karl, Trading Journey. I'll see you soon. Thank you.